The man took just a sip of water, only to notice that his fingernails had turned black. As a doctor, he instantly realized this was a sign of oxygen deprivation. Before he could react, the water bottle in his hand warped strangely. The flight attendant also sensed something was wrong, and quickly urged all passengers to fasten their seatbelts. The next second, the plane plunged straight into a violent turbulence zone. The water in his cup floated into the air, and the entire aircraft began to shake violently. The captain, realizing the severity of the situation, hurriedly put on his oxygen mask, while the cabin's emergency masks automatically dropped down. The man immediately strapped on his mask, but his wife hadn't reacted in time. She passed out from lack of oxygen. Desperate to save her, he rushed to the emergency compartment, grabbed a portable oxygen bottle, and quickly secured the mask over her face. Only then did she begin to recover. After several terrifying minutes of turbulence, the cabin pressure finally returned to normal. The captain addressed the passengers, explaining that a seal gasket on the aircraft had malfunctioned, but was now fixed. Hearing this, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed the disaster was over, until a middle-aged man suddenly began gasping for air. The flight attendant urgently announced over the intercom, asking if there was a doctor on board. The man jumped to his feet and rushed over, but before anyone could understand what was happening, the middle-aged man shoved his entire hand into his mouth. The crowd froze in confusion. Moments later, the man began convulsing violently, then went completely still. When they laid him on the floor, the doctor checked his pulse. No heartbeat. With another hour left before landing, the crew had no choice but to move the corpse to business class and cover it with a blanket. However, a young man quietly sneaked into business class. He had noticed the shiny gold watch on the dead man's wrist and wanted to steal it. He slipped the watch off successfully, but instead of leaving, he pulled out his phone and began recording a video, perhaps to brag about his theft later. Suddenly, the corpse's head twisted around, its lifeless eyes staring right at him. The young man collapsed to the floor, trembling in terror. At that very moment,